provident fund investor? Then you should know the game changer tax provisions introduced on PF contributions. Budget 2021 made a popular change in the history of the provident fund investments. It introduced taxability on the interest earned on the provident fund contributions above Rs 2.5 lakh in 1 year. Hello and welcome. I'm Jyoti Arora, a tax expert at Clear. We are India's largest tax and financial services platform, and we have served more than 6 million plus return filers. Before we begin, I have an exciting announcement for you. We have a free giveaway for our new subscribers. It's a comprehensive guide for income tax returns in India for financial year 2021 that will help you with basic doubts you may have about filing your returns. To claim it, subscribe to our channel and you will find the link in the description box below. So, provident fund contributions have enjoyed EEE, that is exempt benefits for years. This means the initial investment, the income earned from the initial investment, as well as the maturity amount, all three enjoyed tax concessions. However, Budget 2021 changed the game and made provident fund contributions above Rs 2.5 lakhs in a year taxable. This threshold is Rs 5 lakhs instead of 2.5 in cases where only the employee is making contribution to the PF account and employer contributions are not there. So in this video, we will see what are tax implications on the PF contributions, Budget 2021 new amendment in taxability on interest on PF contributions, tax calculation on the interest earned on PF contributions, and since when this change will become effective and how and to whom will this change affect, and lastly, what are the tax implications on PF withdrawals. So let's get started. As we all know, for salaried individuals, PF contributions are of two types: employees' contribution and employer's contribution. Employee's contribution is an amount deducted from the salary of the employee by the employer and deposited in the employee's provident fund, that is EPF account. A minimum of 12% of an employee's basic pay is deposited. However, the employee can request the employer for additional contribution above 12%, which will get deposited in the voluntary provident fund, that is VPF account. Now, as we all know, a deduction up to Rs 1.5 lakh is available for the employee's contribution under the overall limit of Section 80C. Even if the employee deposits a higher amount, for instance Rs 2.5 lakh, the deduction allowed under Section 80C would be Rs 1.5 lakh at maximum. Remember that this limit also includes other deductions like ALSS investments, LIC policies, principal repayment of housing loans, national pension schemes, etc. Now, the employer also contributes a minimum of 12% of employee's basic pay on his or her behalf towards PF. Out of this, 8.33% share goes towards the employee's pension account and 3.67% share goes to the EPF account. Employee's contribution is exempted from tax provided two conditions are met. First, that it is not more than 12% of the basic pay, and second, that it is not more than 7.5 lakh per annum. For example, if employee's basic salary is Rs 5 lakh and the employer contributes 12%, that is Rs 60,000, the entire contribution is exempt. However, if the employer contributes Rs 1 lakh, then only 60,000 will be exempt and remaining 40,000 would be taxable. Say for example, if employee's salary for PF calculation is 1 crore and the employer contributes 12%, that is Rs 12 lakhs, then the threshold of 7.5 lakh will become applicable and Rs 4.5 lakh will become taxable. This threshold of 7.5 lakh was introduced by Income Tax Department in Budget 2020 only. Budget 2020, a change was brought to bring the aggregate amount of employers' contribution to PF, National Pension Scheme and approved superannuation fund above Rs 7.5 lakh as taxable. The amount of employer contribution in excess of Rs 7.5 lakh shall be considered as perquisite and taxed in the employer's hands as per the tax slabs. Also, the interest accrued on such accumulated amounts will be taxable. Now, as mentioned earlier, PF used to fall under the EEE benefit investment schemes, wherein the interest earned on the investments also used to be tax-free. However, Budget 2021 made highlights by bringing the interest income earned on PF contributions above Rs 2.5 lakhs per annum under taxability. This means if an employee deposits up to Rs 2.5 lakh per annum in his or her PF account, then the interest earned would be completely exempt. However, if the amount deposited is more than Rs 2.5 lakhs, then the interest earned on the excess amount would become taxable and would be added to income from other sources and taxed according to your tax slab. Rupees 2.5 lakh limit is specifically for the employee's contribution and would not include employer's contribution. In cases where there is no employer contribution, the threshold limit will be Rs 5 lakhs instead of Rs 2.5 lakhs. Similarly, if the employer contributes more than 7.5 lakh per annum, then the amount of interest earned on this excess contribution will also be taxable under other sources head. Also, if in any year the PF organization pays interest more than 9.5% per annum, which is unlikely, then such excess interest will also be chargeable to tax. Now, let's see how tax will be calculated on the interest income after the change brought in the Budget 2021. The government has clarified that for the purpose of taxability, the organizations will maintain two separate PF accounts for financial year 2021-22 and for all subsequent years for the individuals who contribute more than Rs 2.5 lakh annually. One of the accounts will have a taxable contribution while the other will have non-taxable contribution. CBDT has notified Rule 9D, which provides the manner of computation of taxable interest relating to the PF contribution. Taxable contribution accounts will have contributions in excess of the threshold limit of Rs 2.5 lakhs or Rs 5 lakhs as the case may be. This will also include the interest accrued on the taxable contributions of the previous years as well. Whereas the non-taxable account will constitute a closing balance of the PF account as on 31st of March 2021, along with the contributions made in the current fiscal and in the later years which are less than the threshold, that is Rs 2.5 or Rs 5 lakhs. Let's see this with an example. Suppose an employee is having Rs 10 lakh closing balance as on 31st of March 2021 in his EPF account. He has made a contribution of Rs 4 lakh towards the EPF, as well as the employer is making a similar contribution. In this case, the contribution would be bifurcated into two accounts, taxable and non-taxable contribution. Taxable contribution would be Rs 1.5 lakh, which is the amount exceeding Rs 2.5 lakh plus the interest accrued. As it's the first year of the law, no interest would be accrued. However, for subsequent years, interest will accumulate in the opening balance of the taxable contribution account. Similarly, non-taxable contribution will have opening balance till 31st March 2021, which is Rs 10 lakhs plus current year's contribution up to Rs 2.5 lakh. Also, any interest in the account will get added thereon every year. So, do you understand how tax will be calculated on your PF contributions above the threshold? If yes, then please comment clear in the comment section below. Finance Ministry stated that this change in the taxability of Provident Fund contributions was introduced to bring a fair play between high income earners and others. Now, this is because they observed that high income earners used Provident Fund as a tool to earn fixed interest income of around 8% along with tax concessions on interest as well as the maturity amount. Government observed that investment as high as Rs 1 crore were made every month by the individuals in their PF accounts. Giving such high earning individuals a free escape of earning income tax-free was not fair. So to cover this loophole, the government introduced a threshold of taxability on the Provident Fund contribution. Hence, this will rationalize the tax exemptions and will bring a more fair play between the high income earners and medium and low income earners. So the bifurcation of EPF accounts has to be maintained from the current financial year itself, which the EPFO organization will take care of. However, the tax on contribution above the threshold will become applicable from 1st of April 2022. As we all know, PF investments are for retirement and have a long lock-in period. Investments in PF accounts can be withdrawn easily at the time of retirement, or if a person is unemployed for 2 or more months, or in the event of death. Partial withdrawals or advances from PF are also allowed, but only under certain conditions, like at the time of medical emergency for self, spouse, parents or children, or if one wants to purchase or construct or renovate a house, or if one wants to repay the housing loan, or on the occasion of wedding of self, siblings or children. Now, withdrawals from PF should be prevented unless it is an absolute emergency. So let's see the tax when the withdrawal is made after 5 years of continuous service. If you wish to withdraw the amount from your PF account after 5 years of continuous service, then the entire amount, including principal and the interest on the non-taxable contribution, will be tax-free. Now let's see tax implications when the withdrawal is made before 5 years of continuous service. Now, if the reason for withdrawal before 5 years of continuous service is beyond the control of employee, for example due to medical emergency or discontinuation of employer's business, etc., then such withdrawal will again be tax-free. However, if the withdrawal is made before 5 years due to resignation, like due to own will, then it is taxable. In such a case, the entire amount invested by your employer will become taxable under the head income from salary at the time of withdrawal. Now, the amount invested by the employee shall also become taxable as income from salary if, while making the investment, deduction under section 80C was claimed by the employee. If not, then it won't be taxable, since you would have already paid tax while making the investment, right? According to the Income Tax Act, if a person is withdrawing less than Rs 50,000, then TDS shall not be deducted. However, if the withdrawal is more than Rs 50,000, then it is compulsory for the SSC to furnish his PAN number. Also, if you are not liable to pay tax even after the addition of the taxable PF amount, then you can submit Form 15G or 15H along with your PAN number and the TDS will not get deducted. But if you fall in the tax bracket, then you cannot submit Form 15G and H, and TDS at the rate of 10% shall be deducted. Hence, you should be aware if the TDS has been deducted from the withdrawal amount, and the same should be claimed as tax credit or tax refund while filing your ITR. EPFO will also have to issue a TDS certificate to those employees from whose amount TDS has been deducted. The EPF subscribers making contribution exceeding the threshold limit should evaluate their investment plan before they make the excess contribution above threshold, and other investment options like ELSS investments, NPS should be evaluated. Now, this was all about tax provisions related to the Provident Fund contributions, their interest income and withdrawals. Thank you for watching this video. Hope it was helpful for you. If you have any more questions related to this, then please ask us in the comment section below. We will reply to it as soon as possible. Also, do not forget to claim your free giveaway by clicking on the link in the description box below. Do like, share and subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends who may benefit from it. Stay tuned to be updated with us. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.